Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be working on the 2J block again. Last video you saw was me painting the block, cleaning it out, and it's been about a week since I had the last update. I did a lot of work so far. So current state, I ended up decking the surface, and I also honed out the cylinder walls. So what I did was I ordered this honing ball from Amazon. It was like $30, and it's pretty straightforward. I wish I got the video, but I totally forgot to record that day. You pretty much just have it spin like that, and make sure to lubricate the walls and also the honing ball, and just kind of go up and down motion, and just try to clean up the surface, kind of like how that is, if you can see it. So I did that to every single cylinder. That's pretty perfect. And also, I finished honing all these out. I sprayed some WD-40 in there to prevent it from rusting, and I put these microfiber towels on top. And what I ended up doing was I sprayed WD-40 on top of this as well, and just kind of keep it damped. I bought this Berryman Chem Drip carburetor parts cleaner. Works real well, because this is what I have. See, these are the pistons. I got 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Look at this. This stuff is really grimy. I started working on this a little bit, but it wasn't coming out real easily. So what I found to work well was this carb cleaner. I just let it soak in there for about 1 hour or so, and then took it out, and this is kind of the product that I'm getting out of it. It comes right off. Still's got a little bit of gunk on there, some carbon buildup, but comparing these to that one, it's night and day. It looks pretty much brand new. As you can tell, still a little bit of carb buildup, but I'll soak that inside there for another 10 minutes, and I'm just using this wire brush, just kind of rubbing it off a little bit. Not too aggressively, just enough to pick these things off, all the carbon buildup, because they do just pretty much clean itself off. And you can tell by the sidewalls compared to this one right here. Look at that. Huge difference. But yeah, I'll show you the process of how I do it. It's pretty straightforward. It's actually pretty rewarding. It feels pretty good when you get all this stuff off. So what happens with all this carbon buildup, if you don't get it off or don't replace it with new pistons, these things become hot spots, and you get pre-detonation, and that's not good for your motor. So it's always best to clean it up. You know how there's always these oil additives, seafoam, all this stuff that you could buy at the store to reduce this or possibly even prevent it. It's almost inevitable for this stuff to not show up. It's always going to be there. But since I got the motor all apart, I might as well clean up the pistons. So my end goal for this motor that I'm building, since it's going onto this car, this Mercedes, I haven't talked too much about what's going on with this Mercedes, but I will in future videos. But so far what you guys know is it's gonna be a 2JZ Mercedes. Lots of you guys may hate it. A lot of you guys will say, why did you do that? That's, I think it's pretty cool. Why not, you know what I mean? So this Mercedes is a 1971, so it's smog exempt in California, which gives me lots of options of what to do as far as what power plant to put in there. I tossed the idea between, you know, let's put another diesel motor in there, let's do a V8, let's do, you know, this 2JZ inline 6. But pretty much how this decision was made was, I have a buddy that had this motor laying around his garage. He's like, hey man, why don't you come pick this motor up if you want? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? But regardless whether I bought a, you know, a used motor from the junkyard or from you know, whatever resources, I would have still been doing the same process. Maybe built the internals differently because they're probably not as strong as this 2JZ, but I figured, you know, I'm just trying to get, I would say, 350 horsepower, 400 on the Mercedes, which is, I believe, quite a bit. You know, these things probably came, I would assume, 200 horsepower max. Maybe the V8 came maybe 250. So me trying to get 350 to 400 is quite a big of a jump. And it's pretty reliable, you know, if I just keep it stock. So as far as my friend says, these things are all forged parts, as well as the crank down here. So I'm taking his word for it. I didn't do much research, but he seems like he knows what he's talking about. If you guys think differently, just shoot me a comment below, let me know. Maybe you can help me out a little bit, maybe enlighten me, because I'm not a big Toyota guy. Obviously I have a Datsun with a Nissan motor, and that's all I've really been playing with most of my life. But now I'm into these Toyotas. So what I've got on order right now is all this, the seals, the piston seals, or the rings, all this stuff here. I have new bearings for the crank, and I also got bearings for the connecting rods. Those are all coming in the mail soon. And I get to gap all this stuff and put it together. And once I finish that bottom end, I'm gonna start working on the head. Since this block is a GE block, it's not a GTE, but this came out of a 92-93 SE300, which provided the bigger connecting rods, the thicker ones, compared to the C300, which had the thinner connecting rods. So lots of guys say that this, you know, bottom end can hold about 500 horsepower. I'm not even trying to get to that number, and if I did, I would totally just rip this stuff out and put some nicer internals to can hold quite a bit of horsepower. But it's gonna be a cruiser, so I figured why not refresh these and just rebuild it, make it look all new rings, new everything, and kind of give this motor a second chance in life. But yeah, it's fun. I like doing this kind of stuff. It's rewarding, it's therapeutic, and it's cool, you know, just working on it. But yeah, let me show you how I get this stuff cleaned. And yeah, if you guys ever do this stuff, I swear by it, it really takes everything off. It's really easy. Let me see, let me take this one out of here. It's been soaking here for about 30 minutes. This is the second round for it. I soaked it in there and scrubbed it earlier. But look at this thing. It's a little bit of build up here, so what I end up doing is just take a little wire brush Go like that, just kind of help that deposit come off. And just get a microfiber, and that stuff is pretty much gone. See that? So let me keep going. You see what these things look like. This is 3 and 4. I'm gonna soak 3 and 4 in there. Look how dirty it is before, and we'll give you an after here. As that soaks, I'm gonna go ahead and just scrub some of this stuff off, all this buildup here. And also, there's buildup between the rings, or where the seals go, like all that right there. So I gotta get all that cleaned. So what I'm gonna do is end up just getting one of these piston rings, and I'm just gonna snap it in half and kind of just put it in there and kind of scrape at it like this, kind of trying to help loosen that stuff up because it's pretty soft already from the chemicals. And alright guys, so these 3 and 4 pistons been soaked in here for about 15-20 minutes. We're going to take them out and we'll see what they look like. And you can see how much of this stuff was able to come off by just letting it sit in there. As you can see, there's still some buildup, but a little bit of the wire brush pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and continue scrubbing this stuff off. By just that little bit. So like all this stuff right here. See it? All I gotta do is pretty much just wipe it and that stuff comes right off. So same thing inside these oil rings, oil ring down there, and all the piston rings in between the gap. All I do is I bet one of the rings and I just pretty much just scrape it like this. And just that right there takes off a lot of the deposits that's been built up in there. And it actually looks just like this after it's all cleaned out. Look how cakey that piston is. I mean, I can't wait to soak this sucker in there. Alright guys, so I finished cleaning those 2 pistons I just put in there. Let me show you. So that is pretty much the final product. If I can get it to zoom or focus, there you go. So look at them, these things look so brand new. Hardly any carbon buildup. So for now I'll put these over here, and then I'll clean those up a little bit more. I'll clean the bottom end, the cap ends next, but for now I'm going to tackle these 2. So I'm going to put these in there. Here, I'll give you a little before. Here's the before. This is the worst one. Alright, so it's been there for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Go ahead and remove it from the bearings Let me grab the worst one. This is the worst one right here. Put this one back inside. Let that soak for a little bit longer. So, as you can see, this is, well, let me position the camera so you guys can see this a lot better. Alright, so there it is. The position is a lot better. Don't wipe it or anything. I'm going to wipe it for the first time and see what kind of results we get out of it. So, just wiping it, that's all what came off. So if I go ahead and agitate it, look at that, I made a whole of a difference already. So I'm going to go ahead and soak that a little bit longer, soften up that carbon buildup. As that's going to soak, I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. And let me go ahead and dip that inside there. Rinse it off. Go ahead and scrub it one more time. So I'll go ahead and wipe them off. And look at that. You know, just that little scrubbing took a lot of this stuff off. So I just got to work at it a little more, and then same thing with this. You see inside there, it's all black. So that's pretty simple. I just grab one of these and I kind of just scrape it. It comes right off. See that? All that buildup. I don't scrape this too hard. I just pretty much knock it loose. Look at all that buildup on that ring. And then I'll go ahead and rinse it inside that cami dip. And yeah, there it is. Just repeat the steps. Let me let this soak in there for another half hour, and that should soften all this carbon, and it'll look just like the others. And yeah, it just takes some time, but for the most part, it's quite rewarding. But for now, you kind of get the point of what I'm doing. Cover that, and then yeah. So if you have any comments, let me know. If you have any suggestions on how I could do this a lot easier, or any tips on maybe how to install this kind of stuff or anything like that. But yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.